The seat everyone wants. The lessons everyone needs. The upgrade seat.
You know what? I'm so happy that there are so many new musicians in Rwanda, and I'm so happy when I don't know them because it means that, we have reached that point where there is variety and where I can, I pride myself in knowing most of the musicians in Rwanda today, but I did not know YM Music. YM Music. YM Music, is that the name? Do you know YM Music?
Why I Am Music?
That's the name of the artist, and the song is Unsange. Welcome back, everybody, to the Daily Upgrade. You're on AMG Radio with Dixon and Natasha.
Did you enjoy your coffee?
I did enjoy my coffee.
You didn't enjoy your coffee?
I did enjoy it.
You did enjoy it.
I drank it so fast.
That is the beauty of it. You don't have to be there waiting and waiting.
Espresso.
Yeah, that's why they call it espresso.
Yeah. So
Am I right?
You are very right. And we are very much in the heart of our show. We have reached that time.
All right.
The seat everyone wants. The lessons everyone needs. The upgrade seat.
Yes, the upgrade seat, that's where we are. And today we are reimagining Africa. And we are wondering, what role can art play in a continental mindset reset? And to help us have this conversation, we will have our guest. His name is Majnun. And we will talk about a lot of things about Majnun. Majnun, good morning and welcome to the upgrade seat.
Good morning.
Oh my God, we need to put the velocity down. The volume.
It's the voice of the morning.
Oh my God.
This came from the cave,
You tell me if that volume is okay, because we will be needing to buy new microphones.
Now you understand that Majnun is not just a voice.
Oh my God.
It's not just figurative voice. He's also a very, very much
that is a strong voice.
Factual voice. It's a strong voice. It's a strong voice that comes from Senegal and so many other places. It's our guest today, and he has dedicated his artistic life to exploring what we are talking about as well. We are in line because here on the upgrade seat and in the daily upgrade, we talk about everything Africa. We talk about not just emancipation, because me personally, I don't really like that word and what the connotation of it, but we're talking about a mindset reset, that is needed for us to not only become one, but to also go forth and be who we actually are. Because we already are.
All right.
We already are.
Did you give him some coffee?
Yes.
Did he take a cab coming here?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So how was your trip to this place?
I was jumping in already. They always have to stop me. So this is how it goes here.
Okay.
I welcome the guests and I attack. And then they tell him, good morning. He's like, good morning. How was your morning?
Yeah.
Okay. You can go with that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So please, since you enjoyed the coffee, she gave it to you. So on your way here, anything that you want to talk about? How did you enjoy your morning waking up? Were you ready for this?
No, it was okay. It was okay this morning. I just wake up very earlier. Because actually I wake up earlier since every day since I became a dad. So it's bring me back.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so my baby girl give me back the mornings.
All right.
Before I used to skip them.
Okay.
But now I have to assist in every morning.
Everything.
Because of her.
Is it with a Rwandan lady?
No. It's with a French and Caribbean lady.
Caribbean.
Yeah.
You had to go that far.
Is it that far though?
Congratulations, anyway.
Thank you.
How old is she now?
She's 7 months.
Oh,
Yes.
A beautiful
All right.
baby that wakes up all the time.
All the time. She give me back the morning, so it's a good thing. So now I can appreciate all the morning, seeing people going to work. And this morning when I was arriving, I saw some students who was running to go to school. I was like, okay, this is very magical.
All right.
People are running to go to school.
Okay.
Why not?
Why not?
I can sense that maybe you are not running that fast to go to school. Oh, wow, beautiful. I have the same feeling that since I've been, I tell Dixon that since we started with the daily upgrade a month ago, I know the morning, and I also know that it's Friday, in a very practical way, because I know that tomorrow I'm not working, and it's a different feeling.
It's a different feeling.
Yeah. So can I
please.
now attack?
Oh, please. Take over.
Yeah, because we have a lot of conversations. And today we were talking about...
And please do have a conversation, because I'm going to be upgraded as usual.
I love, this morning I was saying how I love this particular time of the show where we get to engage in conversations and where we get to listen to what our guests have to tell us and learn from them, from their journey, from their reflection, and also to think about the fact that Africa is full of conversations about growth. And, the news that we are talking about in the morning is just growth, innovation, development, GDP, infrastructure, technology, investment. We are talking about all these things that are important, for the growth and of Africa. But today the question is different, yeah? Before we build better economies, the question we are wondering is, do we need to build different imaginations? And across the continent, there is a growing belief that Africa's new transformation won't begin in boardrooms or parliament buildings but it will begin with the stories that we tell ourselves about who we are and what we are capable of becoming. So today we are here with you because you also dedicated a big part of your, tell me if I'm wrong anytime. So from what I gather, you dedicate a big part of your artistic life in exploring exactly that. What we think of ourselves and how we imagine ourselves and the stories we tell. And you were born in Senegal, and you were shaped also by nearly 2 decades in France, and now you're living here in Rwanda. So you're a musician, a multi-instrumentalist, you're a thinker, and your work asks also difficult questions about memory, identity, freedom, and what it means to decolonize the imagination. So today's conversation, as you can imagine, will not be just about music. It's going to explore Africa and whether art can genuinely shape the future of our continent. But obviously we will first start with you, Majnun, before the philosophy first. And we are looking at the person. Before we discuss Africa, who is Majnun? Your stage name is Majnun, which means the madman. And you've described it as, you describe madness as your place of freedom. Freedom from what?
Freedom from all kind of boxes that has been set by our humanity and our family first, our culture, our country. So humans experiment their life fitting in different kind of box every time. And those box, you are not the one who choose the box. You came and you find some box already set up, and you just have to fit in one of them. So it was for me a kind of feeling like living your life is a kind of jail. You are going from one jail to another. So being an artist for me, the main purpose of what is mean is to trying to be free at all. If you have to describe what art is, what an artist is someone who is dedicated his life to experiment freedom. And for me to experiment freedom, there is no safer place than the madness space. Because when they say this one is mad, that means now you're free. you can be whoever you want to be, and they will not, react off that because they put you in the magic box.
It's the magic box. So it's not the madness box.
No, it's the magic box. The madness box is a magic box, finally, where you can create yourself and design yourself the way you want it. Even if you're born Senegalese, if you appreciate samba music, you can play it if you want, and not having to say, no, I'm Senegalese, I have to play Senegalese music, for example. And as I like music too much, when I started to do music and art, I was like, very, very greedy of all of that. So very interested by different kind of music, different philosophy. And I realized that, yes, I have to be free. If I want to do what I want to do, I have to be free. So that's the box I choose, the magic one.
Magic box.
How I understand when they say, this guy is out of the box. That means most of them are in that box.
The magic box.
Simply because you are out of it, they get confused.
Exactly.
The magic box.
Yes.
Can we close the show and go home? I just got out of the box.
You just got out of the box?
I just got out of the box.
Get out now. You're in trouble. He's out.
Oh,
You're
come
in trouble.
on. These mornings I'm really upgrading my mindset.
I've been watching Dixon.
There are
Watch me having this conversation because I'm like, Dixon is like, no. Me, I'm not going to ask questions. I will have my time to ask questions, but I'm going to watch you have this conversation. And sometimes I just look at him to see his reaction. And many times it's like this.
Yeah. Because these are people I'm supposed to be, maybe I've met when I was at 12 years of age.
Yes.
Before I got 17, I was supposed to have this conversation.
You are supposed to meet artists, but you see now, like Majnun says it so well, because most of the time, most of the artists don't even choose that label of being called mad,
Yeah.
It's just that you are doing it consciously and you decide to be in that magic box. Many artists do not choose that box, but they are put in that box. And because they don't choose to be in that box, it's not the magic box, it's just a madness box.
Okay.
And then so many people do not approach them to talk to them and see what they have to say and how, that can benefit them.
Why didn't you tell me that before?
Now, you see, now we are doing
I've been with you for more than 10 years.
now you see. So Majnun, you grew up surrounded by music, literature, theater in Senegal. Basically, you have grown up in an environment of art. And I'm asking myself, looking back now, at the time, were you becoming an artist or were you becoming someone who asks difficult questions?
I think that I have always asked difficult questions since I was a child. But then after I have the chance to grow in a family where art was present.
Yeah.
So one of our uncle who called Newman Kabi was living in France and who was a singer of reggae music. So those kind of question of rebel person, he was already expressing it in his reggae music. And then after I had my elder brother, who is a writer and who was a musician too, who offered us a guitar when I was 17. So
Which one of your older brother was that?
I have one elder brother who is called Felwin Sarr.
Felwin Sarr is very known to Rwanda. He's often here, and I guess the intellectual listeners who love to read books know about him.
Yes, he was a kind of our elder brother, the first of the family, but he was also a kind of mentor in art. He's the one who bring us books, theater, literature, and even the music, even the guitar. He was also playing music, have a reggae band called Dole in France. So I grew up in this kind of family. So I had the chance to meet art very earlier. But as I really started when I was a teenager, and I started with the hip hop. Hip hop was my first background in art, in music. Yeah. Because I was asking difficult questions, and as a teenager asking difficult questions, so hip hop, the hip hop movement is the right answer. So directly I used to rap with my friends, my first group. Before rapping, I started by dancing. Because when I was just a little child.
What are you dancing? Were you break dancing?
I was break dancing, some funk music, all that American stuff. I was in Dakar, I was under influence of all the American culture. So I started by dancing when I was in primary in school. And then after rapping, when I was a teenager, and then when I discovered the guitar, the journey through the music really started when I discovered the instrument. And then it really started at I was 17, started playing, and then after I went to France, play in the band of my elder brother, his band of reggae. I was doing some in the choral of the chorus of that band, and then after I created my own band and started my own journey in music.
How long after?
How long after being in that
Being
band?
in that band, yes.
Maybe 1 or 2 years after, when I just arrived in France after to do my university studies. 1 or 2 years after I created my band.
You created your own band. So you started by playing guitar, but today you're a multi-instrumentalist. What does that mean? How many instruments do you play?
Well, I even didn't count them, but I play many instruments. I play drum, guitar, bass, some ngoni, and a West African instrument, some flute, percussion, different kind of percussion. Yeah, I try to learn every instrument that I'm in love with. But I think it's a question of love. I've just felt in love with music.
Yeah.
I started with guitar and singing, but very early I understand that it wasn't enough for me. I needed to understand the whole structure of music. And I started to learn each instrument whenever I can.
Are you learning some Inanga now that you're here?
Not yet, but I'm planning to.
You're planning to learn some Inanga?
I'm planning to learn some Inanga.
That's
because
nice.
It's a very beautiful instrument.
Yes, it is, right? What does it remind you of? What is it close to in your own
It's
culture?
close to the ngoni, or the gambri they play in Gnawa music.
Yeah.
Or the ngoni, those traditional instruments, African instruments, they look alike. I mean, in the way they are built, in the way they sound. So it make me think about the ngoni.
Yeah.
The way it sounds.
Are you inspired to maybe explore that combination? Maybe
For sure.
that would be nice.
For sure, I want to experiment some combination between the traditional Rwandan traditional music and the West stuff and the Senegalese one. Even in the drums, here they have the big drums with loud bass.
Yeah.
In Senegal, we have what we call the sabar. So I'm trying, I guess, the mix between these two kind of orchestras can shape something new and something very, very fine, the finest music, the finest traditional music.
Right. So it's nice. That's the beauty of Encounter. And you lived in France for almost 20 years, you said. And when many people who go to these countries, Western countries, many Africans, it seems like most of them plan to live there permanently. But you did not, and you chose to come live here for now. Why Rwanda?
Why Rwanda? It's a long story, but to start, I will say that I've spent 25 years in France. So all my university studies, I did them there, and all my musical career, I built it over there. So I mean, the half of my life, I was living there. When I was going there, I was not planning to stay. For in my head, I was a part of those generations that the parents say, okay, we will send you in the West to have better studies, then you can come back in Africa to build this country and build your country. That was the first goal of my parents, of my dad and my mom. So in my head, when I was going, I was supposed to come back one day already. But after exile is exile, when you are in exile, you don't know where are you going, whenever you will come back or not. You just build your life. So I stayed there for 25 years, have a great experience. But at some point, I wanted to come back to Africa because I didn't feel very good staying in Europe so long. In perspective or our future, I was feeling like, okay, in this country, we can be who we really want to be or who we deserve to be. There is a kind of a limitation of what we can do. Even if you're a good singer, Natasha, you can be a good singer in Europe. Everybody will recognize your talent, everything. But at some point, there is a limitation. You can go further. You can go
And why is that? Because, I think it's an interesting experience to share because many of the young Africans listening will think otherwise, will think that if they go there, that's where they have more chance to be recognized. That's where they have more chance to be big. And now you're raising a challenging opinion, saying that there is a limitation, even no matter how good you are. And what is that limitation and how did that affect you?
Yeah, for me, that limitation is a systemic limitation. So I'm going to be straight. So it's all the question about racism and colonial mentality. So, I mean, the place we deserve in their country is already set. So we can't fit another place. They have already said that Africans will stay here. They will be like good footballer, soccer player. They can be sometimes good pop artists. Or, there is some category very fixed by this system. So it's something systemic, and it's a racist system. I mean, the way they see us, the way they see the African continent and the people from Africa is very designed by this colonial mentality. So that means it's not a paradise at all for us. So whenever you come from Africa, you can think about that because of the money, because of economy. And it's true. When you live in France or in England, you have more chance to maybe realize yourself as a musician, having good studio, going on stage. This is a true thing, because here in Africa, we don't have enough structure for that. So you have more structure over there to develop things. This thing is true. This part is true. But the second one, where young Africans are dreaming that they can become bigger, this one is not true. They will not become bigger. They will stay at some level that have been already designed because of racism. Just because you're black, and not black American, you're black African. If you're black American, it's different.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's a different kind of black.
It's a different kind
black
of
exile,
come
with
there is
with
different
the stairs.
black. Yeah, there is a different, different black.
Yeah.
So for me, there is a systemic issue that created this situation. So I was living there, I was playing my music, doing all my stuff, and at some point I feel like, okay, this country is not gonna allow me to be who I need to be, who I deserve to be. So, and then I have to just, in a personal way, live in a country where you feel comfortable. And I mean, as a black man in Europe, you don't feel comfortable at all. You can try to find a place where you can survive. And I mean, we are not on earth to survive. We are here to live our life like everybody. And over there, all of black immigrants, most of them, they survive. If it's not economic, it's psychological, it's another way, because you are not welcomed. So when we are in a country where you are not at all really welcomed by the system, so it's a hard life. Life is a battle every time. So if you're a warrior, you fight. If you're not, they just destroy you. The system can destroy you, can bring some mental health on you. Many people encounter this kind of stories over there. So immigration is not it's not something very, very cool and very, as people can see it here, not very easy. You fight twice more than the normal person for everything. Yeah. For your work, for your life, for the place where you are living, for everything. Life is a kind of battle because you are not welcome at all.
So what, still on that, I would like to know what kind of advice you would give someone listening, let's say a musician listening to you who is in Africa and would like to still explore the benefit of what countries like that in the West can provide for a musician, while also protecting themselves from also that systemic racism. Is there a formula?
I don't know if there's a formula, but for me, it's very important to be totally lucid when you are going on a marketplace. So it's a marketplace, so there is something interesting over there. The structure, I mean, the studio for an African artist to going in a studio in France or in Belgium can be a good experience, because he will learn, he will work with some professionals that have a great experience of what they are doing. So you can learn from everybody. And even in those countries, they have, in culture, in music, in art in general, they have a lot of structure that can be interesting. So going there, exchanging our experience with them, learning from them is something for me that can be a good idea. But but if you consider that it's the place where you have to grow and you have to be someone, maybe they should start at their place first, because here they have a community. They have people who understand what they are talking about. They have people who love what they are doing, the kind of music, who they are, who are not judging them for what they are. So here they have more chance to be someone, than in France or in UK. Yeah. Even if it can be a good idea to travel, but for me, the way African people are traveling should change. The mindset should change. We should travel like everybody else, just saying like, okay, this country is interesting, this experience is interesting, I'm going to grasp it to my own purpose. Not a travel where we are believing that the place we are going is in kind of El Dorado and everything is better there, it's like paradise. We have to stop dreaming this Europe. Europe is a complex country like every country. Everything is not pink, as they say in French. There is good things, but there is other bit. So people should be lucid and stay master of their own career, where they want to go. And I feel the normal thing, the natural thing, is to build a career and to talk to your people first and try to build something here first. So you can go out and come, but not project yourself as, I just have to be in Europe and then after everything going to be good for me.
Yeah.
It can be big. No, this is a kind of a kind dream.
You have to be mobile. And therefore, you are here after spending 25 years in France, and then you decided to move to Rwanda. Why Rwanda?
Yeah, because as I was telling you, my purpose as an exiled person was to come back at my home at first time. So I was planning to go back to Senegal. But before that, I came to Rwanda in 2024 because I was working here during the triennial organized by Dorsi Rugamba, who's an artist. I'm working with him. And I discovered this country. And it was a match for me. It was a match because I just discovered the most decolonial country in Africa that I have visited. I have been in Ghana, in Benin, Mali, Senegal, in many other African countries. And I'm working, these last years, I was working on that decolonial mentality, the thing I call the decolonial mentality, how we can decolonize our mindset as an African in our daily life, actually. And when I visit this country, I discover the most decolonial country, the country that have operate the most significant, changement, switching of narrative on all the continent, and it fits totally with my mindset and with what I was talking about in my art. And for me, art is not just a purpose we are telling that, it's something we are living. So when I'm talking about a topic, it's concerned me, I'm living that. So personally, I wanted to live in a country, a decolonized country. So that's what I find here in Rwanda, the way the politics is, the way people are thinking, the way they are building everything in this country. It's a new narrative I'm building here. So I say, okay, I would like to be part of that, even if it's not my country of birth, but as a Pan-African, it's still my country, it's Africa, and being part of something built on the continent which is decolonial, totally decolonial, and I was really interested about that and doing that in art, in music, in culture, because, so it was a match. I felt in love with this country.
Nice. It really goes well also with the conversations we've been having. Lately, we've been talking about integration and, the kind of mindset we said that we need in order to become one true people as Africans. And I love to see that, there are living examples of people who just choose another African country. There are many connections there's another connections that I know of because I researched, and also I know that you do have with Rwanda, and that is something more personal. We can go there.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, so your father served as one of the Senegalese peacekeepers during the genocide against the Tutsi. So did Rwanda exist in your imagination long before you arrived here? Or did you discover it when you arrived?
No, it exists since that moment, since that day when my father was part of the peacekeeper, the African peacekeeper who was here in 1994. I think he came 2 or 3 years before. And then me, I was 13 when the genocide happened. So I was in Senegal and my father was here. So that was the first time Rwanda entered in my family life. So we all discovered Rwanda at that moment. And then after, it became a part of us. And then after I read some books of Boubacar Boris Job, called Murambi, and other writers. I get interested about the story, and it affects me as a children because I was 13 and I couldn't imagine what was happening here. And because of my dad, when he came back, he tell us the story himself because he didn't like the fact that people was telling a wrong story on the TV, and sometimes he was sitting with us and saying, no, this is not true, it's happened like this, because he was there at the front line. So he was very affected by this story, and he couldn't imagine his own children being like just innocent people living in peace. And whenever we was asking for him something, he was telling, no, children in Rwanda, they don't have this at this moment. Come, I'm going to show you what happened over there. And he was very Pan-Africanist, my father. He was a soldier, but in a very Pan-Africanist way. He did many many missions, many different missions on the continent, not only Rwanda, Sudan, Libya. He went in many places for peacekeeping mission. And he wants us to be aware of what was happening here. So he tells us all the stories. So Rwanda entered in my life at this moment. And since that time, I'm very sensitive about the story of this country. And then after I was having some echoes that, this country has totally changed. And I was planning to visit it. But I couldn't expect that when I arrived, what I've seen and the way I would fall in love with the country. And it was very powerful to me to come here and visit this, and going to Mulindi, where my father was at the
Murambi, where your father is.
No, not
Murindi.
Kumurindi.
Kumurindi. Okay, your
Mulindi,
father
there
is.
was a camp, a military camp there, so he was working there with the RPR at that moment. So I went to visit that place. I went to know a little bit more about the story, and it brings me some emotional stuff, something very powerful to be back here 30 years later, and in a different position. But somehow the same, because he was here, as I was telling to Darcy, he was here maybe with a gun to save people, and I came back 30 years later with a guitar. And for me, it's a healing process.
You gotta say that again. You have to say that again.
You see?
Your dad was here with a gun to save people.
Yeah.
And you came back with a guitar to heal.
That's it.
Yes.
How it resonates for me.
Yeah, that takes me also to this other place. This is, sometimes these conversations get deep, these conversations here, and we are ready for that, and we are asking for that because this is what we need to do. We have to talk about things, we have to share, we have to heal. And I think that this country knows a little bit about healing. And since we are talking about healing, I wanted to ask you if, we have collective healing and we have personal healing. And do you think that Rwanda, or being in Rwanda, has taught you something else about healing? Or,
Yeah, actually we often hear about that word, people talking about resilience. When I arrived here, I realized that here resilience is not just a word, it's a reality. So, and that's the second fact that made me felt in love with this country. When I saw people, how the people are living, actually, that give me the greatest lesson I have ever experienced about human being. So for me, this country have something to teach to the world on how people get over what we can even name, how they can get over, and how life is getting back no matter what happened. So this thing is very, very, very powerful. And I mean, the dignity on their face, on the way people are talking about them, their stories and everything. I mean, I know many Rwandans, and most of them, for a long time, they don't speak about this story. They don't even tell you what happens, and just one day you are talking, when you get more closer and more intimate, sometimes with 2 or 3 mutsig, they can talk.
Yes. Yeah, welcome to our people. They will talk to you after a few meetings.
Yeah, and then after, when they talk, you realize what they experiment, what they pass through. You're like, no, it's not possible. This person, it's not the same one who is in front of me, laughing, having joy, having fun. It's not possible. How come he did that? So for me, Rwanda is teaching me that lesson. How you wound, how you heal your wounded, how you stay alive, how life is, how you bring back life, no matter what happened. And with dignity, with a great dignity and a great strength. And very soft, by the way. It's not something, like this is something very soft. People are, and so it's very paradoxal, because I can feel a great peace in this country, actually. When I came here, the first thing I noticed, I was like, wow, okay, here I feel in peace. And I was a Senegalese man who spent 25 years in Europe, and it was hard over there. So when I came here, it sounds like a rest for me, like you're welcome home. The trees, the birds, the people, everything, the hills, everything was like in a peace way. And I know that this peace is not a joke, because under this peace there is something very hard. And so how people are walking on fire, it's like fakir people, So there's something very spiritual for me, that this country as a nation, as a population, they reach out another step of what human being is meant really to us. Yeah. So it's a great lesson that I'm learning actually here in this country.
Thank you. You know, sometimes, you know what is...
resilience.
Yeah, the power of resilience, the power of, I think, the desire to rebuild as well. You know, one thing that I thank you for this answer that you're giving me, because sometimes when you live in the fire of things, you don't actually get to realize what is going on, you know. Sometimes you need an external eye to realize what is happening in your own country, you know. And I think that this is what is important also in this conversation for me, because you are also reminding me how we heal in Rwanda. And this is very important. And I hope any listeners listening to the Daily Upgrades on the upgrade seat today is Majnun, beautiful soul, beautiful soldier, singer, musician, multi-instrumentalist, thinker from Senegal, from Rwanda now. And we love that.
The upgrade seat.
We have been talking about how Rwanda has changed the narrative. In the first part, we were talking about how you came to Rwanda, and came back also.
You came back. Yes, I was going to say yes.
You know, also that's also true.
Came back to Africa
somehow, and notice the changes and how the decolonization of Rwanda, that process we are in, and it all goes to the stories we tell ourselves, you know, and every society lives inside of a story. That's the beauty of it. Like these stories about success, stories about failure, identity, possibilities, you know. Yeah, there's so many stories, and sometimes those stories become invisible because we are so used to them. We have repeated them so long. And now we are getting to that part when we are talking about Africa. So I would like to ask you, what story about Africa do you think Africans repeat so often that they have started to believe it, integrate it, without even questioning it?
Okay, well, maybe many stories. Maybe many stories, but it's a very complex question. So to start, I just want to remind those that quote of a writer called Nancy Houston. She said that human species is a liar species.
Wait, slowly.
Can
you repeat
she
that
said that
for
the
me?
human species, as a species, the humanity, we are liars. So that means stories shape everything.
You need to take that in for quite some time. Don't just go away from that. Natasha,
Yes.
we need to put the bed down.
Yeah.
Nothing needs to be said again.
Yeah, because I want to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very deep quote, what he's saying, but it's the same thing that what you was telling about stories.
Yeah, we live inside of a story,
We live
yes.
inside of stories. So that's mean we are liars. Every stories, we create them, we invent them. So we all live in liars. All the myth and legends are somehow some stories that have been created and invented. And for me, stories shapes the way we are living. It's not the opposite. So we have to build a story first, and that story will shape our vision of the world, of what is living and the way we are living in a philosophical way. So stories are very important. So the question you are asking is, which story are we following? In which story are we living, actually? And for me, that is the main purpose of the decolonial mentality that I'm talking about in my project. We are living in a colonial story. Until now, everything we believe, the way we are building our city, the way we are seeing the power, the politics, the way we are seeing God, the spirituality, everything was shaped by another story, a story bring from foreigners who bring their story and they put it in our head. So for me, once I read the book of those master called Ngugi wa Thiong'o, who write Decolonize the Mind, and he was explaining something very important to me. He said that, okay, maybe the main consequences of colonialism are not economics or politics, but they are psychological. So that means it's the moment where the narrative set up in our head. What is life? What is a man? What is a woman? What is God? How come we live? Everything. So even in our dreams, sometimes a person like me who is born in Senegal dream in French, actually. In which language are you dreaming? So how those stories are set in our minds, and that's shaped the way we are living. So that's why for me, I decided to write this song and I call it the decolonial mentality in a kind of answer, because Fela Kuti used to write a song he called Colo Mentality, the colonial mentality, for denouncing this purpose of colonialism. And for me, actually, we are in a new era where we need to put in our mindset a new logiciel, a new narrative, a new story, the decolonial story, a new software, the decolonial software that we have to now put in our heads to change our life and really in our daily lives to see the change coming in matter, to crystallize them. So as an artist, we have a place of choice for doing that. So that's why I organized what I call the decolonial tour, and I went in different African countries to bring there this therapy. And I was inspired by one of my masters called Alejandro Jodorowsky, who created a method where he calls the psychomagical ritual. So his purpose is to say that most of the time when we encounter a suffering in apparent life, the origin of this suffering is in our unconscious.
Can you hold that thought, please?
Yeah.
We were still having a conversation. We cut mid-conversation. I was asking you, Majnun, about the stories that Africans tell themselves right now. That they forgot that they were telling themselves. It became, something that they believe without questioning. And you started telling me about your vision, your decolonial vision, and how you were inspired by Ngugi's book, Decolonizing the Mind, how a lot of things that... you first told me about this quote that we had to ponder about. I don't remember who's it.
Nancy Houston.
Nancy Houston, about all the stories that we tell ourselves. That humans are liars. Can you come back to
human species is a liar species.
Is a liar species. Okay.
Debunk that.
I think I would argue that we are creative and that we have a need for stories. We have a need for mythology.
We have a need for that, but
for understanding.
When she says that, for me, it's just to remind us that don't forget that it's a story.
Yes.
So it's not something very material. It's a story. And what is the purpose of a story? What a story should do on you. So maybe you have to choose the story we believe. And that's the point where I came back on your question.
Yes.
Why Africans still believe in a story that doesn't benefit to them. That is my question. Why are we still believing those kind of stories that are not putting us in the middle of the game? Why? And for me, this is the matter that the African continent is encountering. So we're still believing and we're still shaping, and we are still shaping all our lives based on some stories that are not good for us. So sometimes maybe we can accept, like Frantz Fanon was talking about, we have some psychological illness. In a way, it's what he called alienation. We are the aliens. Why we are aliens? That's why we are aliens, because we are living in stories that are not benefiting to us.
Yeah.
In every kind of story. So how can we escape from those stories and build back stories that bring back our brilliance of our shine, bright and light in the middle of the game?
So
being the center.
Yeah.
How we can center our lives.
The thing is, the question I'm asking myself, and I'm asking you, and I'm asking all of us, I'm asking the listeners, is that do we need new stories? Do we need to tell ourselves new stories? Do we need to go back to stories that existed before before the alienation? I have a friend who used to say that in French, il disait on est des avatars de série B. So he was saying we are avatars of série B is like bad movies, and he was talking about how Western movies and all these American cultures and Western culture had influenced people to now identify themselves with those, and then he was saying that we are avatars. And so for people who are already alienated by colonization and how it has affected our psyches and our ability to see ourselves for who we are, from not from a lens that created us, basically, because if you give a story to people, you kind of created them, somehow.
Sure.
Because you are like being alienated comes from that story.
Exactly.
That story that we were told. But, sometimes I feel like we talk about it like it was a smooth transition, that someone came here and told us a nice story and then we believed them. No, it was a very brutal story. It was a violent story. It was not something
and very well organized.
Yeah, it was not something that, you have to question, but why did you let them do it? No, I mean, it happens over time and violently. So now these stories, now we have several stories to choose from. There is a pre-colonial story. There is a colonial story. And now there is today, right? So what's the choice? What are the stories that we can tell ourselves? Is it the story?
That's why for me, being a liar is something very interesting. Being a liar species. Because liars, they are creative.
Yeah.
And we are creative. So our species is a creative species. So for me, we have to set up new stories. But in the meantime, we can go back and see what was our pre-colonial story, just like as a process of healing, a healing process. I mean, to know who we are, to recenter ourselves, to see on the map of the archaeology of humanity, of history, where we are on that map. So just to remind ourselves who we are, that we came from other different kind of stories, it's important to go somehow in the past, just to remind, just in a healing process. But definitely we have to build new stories, because we change. From that time we didn't live, and what we became as an alien people mixed up with a whole ancestral culture. So we became something very different. So now we have the opportunity to create new stories that embodies all of that. Because for me, my vision of artist is being a bridge between the past and the future. Now we have to go back in the past, but our vision is going on the future. So how do we connect those kind of temporality, those two temporality? So for that, we have to build new stories that embody our past and the future we want to create.
Yeah. Before we left, we were also talking about something very interesting. We were talking about black magic, but in your way. So we were talking about the decolonial tour that you did, and you were talking about it as a healing process. Can we come back to it and tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, when I was, my second album is called Mandingo's Fight. Mandingo is the name of the Malian people, a big tribe of Mali who was running the power over there in the time of Sunjata Keita, the Mandingo people. So I wrote an album called like this, Mandingo's Fight, where I imagine the last decolonial battle, that we win that battle, and after that we can create our new narrative. And I was inspired by Alexandro Jodorowsky, who created a method he called the psychomagical method, a method of healing, where he said that the suffering that we are encountering actually in our apparent life has its origin from in our unconscious. Because even Freud or many psychiatric person, they explain that fact that maybe 70% of what we are doing in life get his origin from our unconscious. So to heal some apparent trouble, some apparent disease that we have, actually, we can do it by addressing directly to the unconscious. And the unconscious talk the language of symbol, forms, melody, rhythm. So as an artist, that's what we are working with. We work with symbols. We work with colors, symbol. When you see a dancer, a painter, or a musician, or even a writer, the way he created image, so images and all of that, that means we have a place of choice to address to the unconscious of people. So I write this album like a psychomagical act, a psychomagical ritual, aiming to restore the brilliance of our light. And for that, to heal the wounded soul of black people. Because for me, all the black people, we share one common experience, is that wounded soul. Even if we are Rwandan, Senegalese, from Zimbabwe, whatever, what create a black culture where we say we are Pan-Africanists, we are black this, black that, it's because of we share that common stories where our soul deeper was wounded. How can we heal it? By talking to our unconscious and set up the thing, fix the thing over there first at the origin of the things.
Yeah.
So when I made that album, I imagine it like a psychomagical act, like a talisman. What the spiritual man are doing in our countries, work with symbol to heal someone. How can we heal the wounded soul of black people? By giving him back his own light. So going back in the past and remind him who we are. So that's why I bring back the Suffer, who was the warrior who was protecting, whose mission was to protect the Mandingo's empire. So I bring them back. I try to change the images that the young African can see when he see the cover of my album. I'm on a horse who is celebrating the victory. So we are not anymore those people who are the last of the battle, who are the victims, or changing all the narrative in their eyes. For me, it starts there. And then building and writing new stories for the future. What can we go? So it's a mix. It's not going back in the past just to say, okay, we was someone before we built the pyramids, or not. The purpose is not going back to live in the victory of the past. It's just to know them, to know that we came from someone, and this is not our whole story. This is just a little part of our story. I mean, slavery, colonialism is a little part of our story. There was something before, and there will be something after. How can we build it? So it's a...
I see. It's like rectifying the truth, rectifying the story, because I think that colonization also is what it does is replacing the actual story with another story, erasing the story of your own victory, erasing your possibility to see yourself as you actually are.
Exactly.
Because you already are, and that's what I was saying in the beginning. And while we're talking about what we're still talking about, decolonizing the mind, I would like to go a little further and understand what you mean by decolonizing, because I also believe that colonialism is something that really happened, and it did what it did. But at which point colonization stops being the most useful explanation for everything that is every African problem? Is there a point where colonizations will stop becoming the explanation to our problems?
Yeah, it will. We hope so. We hope that one day we'll finish with that story, but it's not the reality for the moment. It's just that's why we are talking about it. If it's not real, we don't even talk about it. But we're still trapped in that story. For me, this is the problem. We're still trapped in that story.
So it's a form of captivity.
In a form of captivity in our daily life, in everything. If you just notice in everything, the way we are living, the way we are seeing the life, we even have to decolonize our sense. The way we are feeling the wind, the way we are feeling the time, the climate, the season. So everything is shaped by this
how
software.
So?
Yeah.
Can you
yeah, because
explain
the time
to me a little bit.
The Western time is a linear.
Yeah.
So we go from a point and we are going from A to Z or B or C. This is a time. Even the way we're feeling time is a colonial way of feeling time. Here in Africa, before, in the pre-colonial time is circular. It's not a line. So, I mean, yesterday and tomorrow can maybe meet on the road. There is no yesterday, there is no tomorrow, the time. And the way we are feeling, even the time, is colonized. So life is not just a journey where we're starting from one point and going to another point. It can be a cycle. Or maybe some people who are born here, that's why sometimes our grandpa, they look at the baby, they say, oh, this man is come back. And it's sure that the grandfather come back. Because it's a cycle. It's possible. Resurrection is possible. Different kind of things are possible. So the season, the way we are living with the ecology, the environment, the tree, believing that the tree have a soul, that you can communicate with the tree, that before you're taking a seed from a tree or a fruit, you ask him the permission. That's what they did here. Why now we are just going in the supermarket and take a bigger neighbor?
Pick an apple.
You see, we don't even try to know where this apple is coming from, who's the tree, did we recognize the tree, did we accept sometime. My grandfather, he saw a little boy beating a donkey. He said, hey, stop, because the donkey may be your grandfather.
They try to cut off that communication.
Yeah. And here, there's no separation between the visible and the invisible life in the African cosmogony. I mean, a man can be a tree, can become an animal, can sometimes transform, can do many, many things, It can be in two places at different moments. So we have all that knowledge that we keep apart and we don't use them. We prefer using laptop, we prefer using them technology. And we have already built ours a technology, but we don't use it. We don't use them. We don't believe in them, so they don't live.
We have technology,
and create technology. We have already create many things. If we do some
nobody
research.
talks about them.
But when you were talking about the circular time, I also think about it, and I realize how in Kinyarwanda, yesterday and tomorrow share the same word.
Exactly.
The only differentiation is that, they are both Ejo. Yesterday is Ejo. Tomorrow is Ejo. But Ejo to come and Ejo that was. That is the only difference. And that brings me back to the fact that it's a circle. If you're listening to us right now on the Daily Upgrade, you can put back the bed. You can put back the bed.
Is it necessary?
Because it is necessary because
it is there, but I don't want to miss anything.
So if you're listeking, I hope you're following, because listening and following
are two different things.
Yes. So we are talking deep matters. We are talking about Africa. We're talking about the stories we tell ourselves, and the stories that we could build today, so that tomorrow becomes ours, truly ours. I'm gonna go back a little bit to your music, and trust it also has something to do. So your music blends jazz, funk, hip hop, guitar. A lot of forms that traveled across cultures. So I wanted to, play a little bit of the devil's advocate here and ask if a decolonized artist can still create with borrowed tools, or if decolonization is just about intention rather than origin.
Yeah, it's intention. It's not just about, I'm not a purist, getting back to the origin, the pure music. I don't believe in purity, So for me, it's something that leads to crime. That's all, But for me, the decolonial process, the decolonial way of doing music is refusing to set in those boxes. Because even questioning what music is, what art is to me, what does it mean really to me? Because if we do some research and we question that question of art, it's been just a century that we are playing on stage that music and doing entertainment and doing concert. Before that, music exists. What was the purpose of music in a society? And it was something more spiritual before that, before becoming something entertainment. And I love to precise something when I talk about music, that I'm not doing entertainment, I'm doing art. I'm trying to do art, not entertainment. Even if I like being entertained, I like going and dancing on music that are entertaining. But for me, it's different field. Entertainment and art are different field. Me, I'm trying to do art. I want to create, valuable art, because for me, art is something spiritual. So musically, I don't want to set in a box. I don't want to say I'm doing hip hop. I start with hip hop, and after I go to reggae. Then I love funk music, and then I discover jazz music. I love the Brazilian music, samba, all those kind of music. So in my purpose, it was, as a madman, just one purpose, being free. So I pick up everything I like in every kind of music, and I create my own music. I want one day my listener to say, okay, this guy have created his own music, and we don't even can define it. So that's because for me, we are creative. So we are not here just to repeat all the stuff that have been already done. And in a decolonial perspective, the way we are going in the marketplace of music, we have to decolonize our way of being. Decolonizing in that purpose, what does it mean for me? Getting back our freedom, the way we are directing our art, our music, the way we want, how an Inanga should be recorded. Tomorrow, me, I've grown musically, I've grown in Europe. So I went to the studio in Europe working with a European sound engineer. And sometimes I bring a trucking drum in my album and they don't know how to mix it because they don't have the culture, the whole background to treat this sound. As African, we have to do those research. We have to know how do we record correctly, perfectly, an Inanga and percussion and thing. And then we can bring new sounds, new flavor. This is just the process of recording in the studio. And then after, the way we are directing, the way we're mixing, it's a whole world we are bringing. If I want to bring back the hills of Musanze or Burera, in my music, there is a typical sound that I have to use. Maybe I will record some birds, maybe I will record the river of Burera and mix it in. I will try to create some stuff. That's what I call the decolonizing process in the way of create music. And even in the way of commercializing our art, we can still imagine different process, not just trying to every time fit in those boxes that have been created by others. We have to create maybe our own narrative, our own music. The way for me, like in music, most of African musicians, African artists, they don't have a specific sound. The sound, we sound like UK or US. They are the reference in sound. So Youssou N'Dour, Cheikh Lo, our great artist in Senegal, was recorded in the England studio. So the way they sound, the way they are our reference, but the way they sound was shaped by Peter Gabriel, by the sound engineer of UK, or all the Amapiano staff, Niger or hip hop. They're trying to sound like US. So maybe we can create an African way of sounding, different and it doesn't mean that it just be African, only African. No, we can put some Asian stuff inside, some American, some no matter the way, but just the purpose, the intention, the vision have to be from another places and another environment.
That's so interesting. I think we're going to come back for the fifth part of the conversation. I still want to know whether art can actually change society, and then we come back for that. But since we're talking about music, let's get into the music.
This upgrade seat was supposed to be, was meant to be, was created to be, and whoever blessed it, real blessed it big time. The purpose of music.
I want to know.
That's where we're coming back
to.
I want people to be prepared.
Yes, I want to ask this question and some questions that are like, my main question is, can art in general actually change society?
Then we take away.
That is what we're coming back to.
I want us to take away.
This is where I want to challenge the artist to tell us.
The moment we answer that, we will no longer have presidents.
Yes.
We will no longer have politicians.
No, because, artists say, like a lot of artists say, yes, we say art can change the world.
Yes.
And I want to come back to it, and I want to ask real questions to find out really if we do believe that.
The Daily Upgrade.
Yes, the seat we love to see. And on this seat today, we are here with Majnun. Hello, Majnun. Are you still okay?
Yes, I'm still
Everything
alive.
is still alive, still breathing in the depth of our conversation. I have to tell you that you're the one who's bringing us in the depth, and we love it. We love it. Do you love it, Dixon?
I love it.
I also
love it,
love
and
it.
I'm going deep, and I'm waking up, taking me back, bringing me back to my roots. Where exactly I belong.
Exactly.
Reminding me of who I am.
Reminding us also of the importance of having deep conversations, because, there is shallow things
normally
all
Africans,
over.
Africans, we hate having those deep conversations,
Do we
especially.
though? You know that there is a whole...
You can tell.
Today, I think it's a whole. In my opinion, we don't hate that, because we had a whole system for conversations called Ibitaramo, right? Where we could have a fire and we will be around the fire. We will tell stories long stories.
What happened to those? Where are they? That's what
we
I'm.
We are talking right now about the root cause of many of our problems being colonization and how we're trying to decolonize our minds.
Those things were not supposed to be stopped at all.
Exactly. So we are bringing back conversation. We are bringing back long, deep conversations and understanding.
These are supposed to
be
in communities without even the radio, without this technology. We're supposed to be seated somewhere with families, with people, with the community, having a conversation.
Okay.
With other people instead of this.
But for now, this is what we have.
Yeah, for now we can.
And then we can use this opportunity to just close your eyes, imagine the fire, imagine the drums, imagine the percussion.
Oh yes.
And then we will be there at the heart of Igitaramo, and then this Igitaramo is called the upgrade seat because we are aliens. So now
let's go.
Now that you're mentally there. Before we left for the break, we were I was asking this question, and this question was really for all of us. And I was asking if art can change society, because this is almost a slogan that artists and non-artists, I don't know if non-artists exist, but I just believe that anyone is really an artist if they want to. And so I was wondering if art can change the world, if it does, then can you point to one moment in time, in the world, wherever, where a work of art genuinely changed society? Not emotionally, but politically and economically or socially.
I think there is many moments. That the one that is coming in my mind just right now is that in that life of Bob Marley, when he had some political issues in Kingston between two politicians, and he gets shot in his house himself when he wrote Ambush in the Night, and then he made a concert. Just coming back from the hospital, the bullet impact was still visible on his body, and he bring back these two politicians on stage, and the young Jamaican people was killing each other because of two parties, two politicians. And with his music and with his messages, he bring back these two politicians on table, make them talk, and maybe bring a little kind of peace in his little Jamaica. So this is one single moment, but I think we can notice different other moment. The music of Fela Kuti, what the music of Fela Kuti did in Nigeria. Even if he was in prison, even if what Kalakuta Republic means to Lagos, to Nigeria, and I still believing that they have impact. Maybe sometimes they don't have that one of impact we can guess in a naive perspective, that just art can change the world, just like being kind can change the world. I don't believe in that perspective. I think it's too much naive. But deep down, I think art changed society. Why we say that art changed society? Because who make the societies? Human beings are those who make the society. And art has something to deal directly with human beings, human feelings, in a sensitive way. It's talking to the heart of people, to the soul of them. So we are shaping, everybody have a music to listen that reminds him, his children or his grandfather or his lovers, what are you seeing, the way you are wearing your clothes. So art is present in all our daily lives. So our art shape us as a human, the way we are, the vision we have of human, how do we live? That's where the impact of art is on human beings. So when you shape a certain kind of human being, you shape the society. Yeah. So we are all shaped already by art, even if we don't know it. So for me, that's the way art can change society, not just on one fact or on one spectacular fact. It's like in different kind of layers of who we are. And when tomorrow, when we will disappear, another humanity will come, and when they will try to say who we were, art will testify. Yeah. What these humans create.
This was a question that I was going to ask you. Look at you.
So you see, it's make us immortal. So it's going to testify for us who we are. So by shaping humans, we can shape society.
Yeah. This is interesting. You gave us the example of, the impact that Bob Marley has had, reuniting two opposing politicians. The Fela Kuti example of how he impacted Nigeria as well. And this brings me to this question that I asked myself too. If the status of the artist has changed, because we have seen a lot of powerful artists in the past that have actually done something, changed something in the world. We've seen Muhammad Ali. We've seen a lot of very impactful artists who had that status, a very symbolic status in society. Do you think artists today still have that power?
We complain. Even me, I complain a lot about that fact that we don't find great artists like Bob Marley, like Fela Kuti in nowadays. And why? So for me, something shifted in the status of what an artist should be is. So, and it have to deal with the entertainment industry. I think the entertainment industry have take over all the space. And so now we are not seeing an artist like someone who has something to say deeper, but just someone who is known, who is famous. With the social media thing, with our way of living today, the status of what people call artists has somehow changed. Now, and it's become more. We are more dealing about celebrities, stars, and not talking about much more artists, real artists. That's why at the beginning I was telling that I'm doing the difference between entertainment and art, because for me it's a big difference. But now entertainment have to take all the place, and artists have just a little tiny place.
And I have something to say. I think the system did that on purpose, to let the entertainment be taken as art.
Yeah, because if you can imagine if an artist can have the power to reunite politicians, then you need to dilute that power.
Exactly. They had to do it. They did it on purpose. This is organized.
Yeah.
We need to organize it back.
Yes.
I don't know. People are shallow nowadays.
With you, because that's why Fela was saying that music is a weapon. So it's bring us back to the beginning of the conversation when you say how art can change society. It's because art can change.
It does.
It does
and
change
they know
society.
It did.
That's why some politicians, they want to frame it.
In a different
and then frame
way.
it. And the way they frame it is to transform it in entertainment. When it became entertainment, they put out the power of art. Now it can change. People dance and they forget about thinking. They don't think they just dance, they just entertain, you just enjoy it, And every fascist political party start by assaulting the art and the culture. Why? And there's a purpose. Actually, in France, they're experimenting that with the book. Actually, who is driving the big industry of books, of writers, is someone who is fascist. So how you shift the mind of people by framing what they consume, what they read, which music they are listening, which movie are they're watching. So when you control that, you control the way they are thinking. So that's the way art is a dangerous tool, but real art. But when it became entertainment, it's not dangerous anymore. It became just a fancy thing, and we just for having fun,
Yes, because now it remains a tool, and it creates jobs. I was gonna ask if poetry can influence public policy, if culture can become infrastructure, if we are remonted, but then we realize that that's a sad reality, that the culture budget is shrinking everywhere all the time, and then everything is framed, right? Everything we consume is framed. But I have another question, and it's about what if African government doubled the cultural budget? What tangible difference do you think we would have in 20 years from now?
Well, for me, that is the question I'm still asking myself. I don't understand why African government don't double this budget, don't even triple it, or don't invest a lot in culture, because this continent have been a continent resource, the origin of many art forms, not only in music, in painting, in many kind of art. It's a very creative continent. So that's mean nowadays, even in the industry of entertainment, you can notice that the origin of many rhythm, many music, many styles, many formats are from this continent. And this continent is not benefiting of that. So how come what those governments are doing? I don't understand. They don't understand the impact, the real impact of art, of culture. And for me, it's a great part that we should develop on this continent. And it can solve many problems. Just with culture and art, we can solve problems of, health and many other problems by the incoming we are getting from this culture business, this culture marketplace. So I don't understand why our government still not understand that fact. That's for it's obvious.
We are again coming back to that question of production, being the one to produce what we consume in terms of art, being not just the creative minds behind things. We can create. That has been established because we have influenced music as it is. Black music as it is comes from slavery, the diaspora, and now wherever Black people went, culture was born. Because before that there was I'm not being extreme. Before that there was no classical music and folk music in some of those countries. But music as we know it, you name it, jazz, hip hop, rock and roll, gospel,
house,
techno.
That's why he's doing it all. That's why he's doing it all.
Because that's why when I was asking him the question, is it borrowed? No, it's not borrowed because it came from here, and then it traveled and it became other things, but it was carried by Black people. So the fact that Black people can create and influence the world with art is no longer a question. It's just misinformation. But now the real question is, can we produce? Can we, be at the forefront? Can we integrate all the stages of the industry and, become, the creators, the consumers, the producers, and make money out of it? So because the time it is unfortunately not circular in this studio. It is linear. And it goes from A to B.
I need my time, Natasha.
And, that's exactly why I'm handing you over to Dixon now that we had this conversation. Because he has something that he likes to do towards the end of the conversation.
I enjoyed the conversation, and I want the reason I do this. I want short answers on these questions. It's the quick, just rapid like that. That's why I do, because my mind is too slow. Yeah, and this
that's why you want fast.
That's why.
It make sense.
Make sure, please, don't give me long answers on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm sure I'm going to enjoy your answers. You good to go?
Yes, let's go.
What does decolonization mean in one sentence?
Restoring.
I told you I'm going to love this. Has Africa truly been decolonized?
Not totally.
Why?
Because we still live in a narrative that we didn't set up.
Thank you. Which independence leader inspires you most?
Actually, is your president.
Say his name.
Okay, Paul Kagame.
Thank you very much. Is colonialism still affecting Africa today?
For sure.
What is one colonial legacy Africa should leave behind?
The vision of himself.
Is Africa economically independent today?
No.
Should African countries rely less on foreign aid?
Yes, for sure.
Does language still reflect colonial influence?
For sure.
Should African schools teach more African history?
Yes.
Why?
To get back to themselves.
Oh, God. Is the education system still too colonial?
Yes.
Okay. Has decolonization changed the African mindset?
Not enough.
Can Africa unite despite its colonial borders?
Yes.
Should African countries trade more with each other?
Yes.
Is Pan-Africanism more important today than ever?
Yes, definitely.
Why?
Because time's up.
Time is up.
Yes.
Who benefits more from Africa's natural resources? Is it Africa or is somebody else?
No, the Western.
What does mental decolonization mean to you?
Rectifying your image in the mirror.
What is one thing Africa must do to complete decolonization?
Love himself.
In one word, what does a truly decolonized Africa look like?
Like me.
It starts home.
No, it was the ego trip part, like because I come from rap, from hip hop, I told you.
If you could erase one colonial era policy, what would it be?
Those economic hierarchy, saying who is developed and who is not developed.
Oh God. Has political independence delivered economic freedom?
Not yet.
Is Africa's biggest challenge today colonialism legacy or current leaders?
Yeah, it's the same question.
It's the same problem.
What's one myth about Africa that still needs to be decolonized?
One,
Myth.
the myth of creation.
If you had 30 seconds to advise Africa's young people on decolonization, what would you say?
First of all, know who you are. Do your research and really know who you are. And then everything will be all right.
Thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Majnun,
Thank you
for
to you.
accepting our invitation. This has been such a fruitful, edifying conversation. I bet everyone like me who's listening right now will need some time to ponder and reflect and go through the day carefully, slowly, As you walk, as you say, thank God it's Friday. Also remember that thank God we have artists who can reflect and share their reflections with us and, upgrade us. And that's why the Upgrade Seat is here. And that's why the Daily Upgrade is here. And that's it for us. Stay woke, stay healthy, and stay happy. And stay decolonized.
Thank you very much. Thank you for upgrading me.
Resetting our mindset.
The seat everyone wants. The lessons everyone needs. The Upgrade Seat.